And then we'll go for Satan in England, Lucifer. VLA. V. L. A. Ha. VLA. VLA. VLA was the world, a symbol, round circle. I was protected by Mother Earth in my mind as VLA. 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 40 years of amnesia, or 38, and 6 years of fighting. 6. For 6 years old, I was, in 1981, which equates in numerology as year number 1, in the south of my hometown, Monthaggy, where the Catholics haggled with the witches in Haglethorne Street. I can speak of it now because it's now sold up and no longer in the family. It's 67 Haglethorne Street, a white weathered broad built by the Morescos, a true midas touch. It was still square in the kitchen when we got the tiles laid. It was built back in the 50s or 60s, I think it was. Now, Shirley and Mick Moresco, they built the house for their family when they were young. Their mother next door, Mrs. Moresco. The house is still there too, cute little cottage. Well, Mick and Shirley, they owned Moresco's petrol station and garage. So we had the big shed out the back, but they also worked on cars at home, where my grandmother Ivy bought that home around 1976, I believe. My mum and my brother and my grandmother got here first, and I believe I was delivered in 1977 in a brass box called the Pandora's Box. Ark of the Covenant. For I am the covenant, meaning law. A little bull. I had amnesia for 40 years. For in 1981, on a Good Friday, wasn't so good for me, but a Good Friday, for my son to take over in my previous life as Nina Verdon, I was mother to Craig, Margaret and Ross. Craig Stewart Anderson, Margaret Anderson, not sure of her Turner. I'm not sure where Margaret lives. She's out of state, I know, but... And Ross Anderson, born 1951, as Ross Stewart Anderson. Their father, Robert Stewart Anderson, the alchemist, who created the Aryan bloodline under Hitler. Hard life for both sides, but all agreed upon. Meaning, the blue-eyed Aryan bloodline, the originals, the Jewish community that saw to it that Jesus was crucified, apparently. Now, I'm not here to upset anybody. I really am not. And I know I do, just for being me. But I've been fighting for my wealth, my celestial body, and my core to the sun. My head, cerebro, is always a lake of fire. For that's where my brother, Robert Stewart Anderson, who was my grandfather, Robert Stewart Anderson, who was my grandmaster husband, and he would have been my son also. For Sun God Ra, within me, that is my true God. His last life here next to me in physical form was my Gizzy girl, my dog. Backwards is God. So my life is Vanessa Lee Anderson, VLA. With a 5-pointed star in the world. Vanessa, my name is. Vanessa means butterfly. And Vanessa is also known as Pandora's daughter, known as a curse to this world that brought disease. And chemical warfare, if you say. Was it warfare or was it just growing us, humans, perfecting us, building us, getting us stronger, is to survive and also experience the illnesses that were created within me, put out into the world to build our immunity and to build the people we are today, which we are the afterlife from the pyramids. But we're so much more now than what we were back then. Cleopatra was 6. I was 6 years old when I entered in the south of Montague, Haglethorne Street, 67. So, if you look at, right from here, 67 in the south, was the House of Commons, the lower house of Parliament in spiritual realms in my community here, 10k radius. 10k radius, my dome of protection for the body of the Christos oil I hold within I. Vanessa Anderson. The wife, sister, granddaughter Isis I was. I didn't know any of this when he was alive as my brother. We had a very, not an easy life, Rob and I, in this town, family. All I'm after and all I've been fighting for is peace. And I won't stop until I get it. Now, in this area, we've had some very strong winds and not nice, pleasant days over the last 2-3 weeks. We've had a really good thunderstorm on Tuesday, just gone. Not gone, the one before. I've been in a bit of a upheaval and I had a lot of trauma responses within me that I had caught on Tuesday, which I don't fare well with court due to previous experiences. I've been to jail 6 times on remand to Dame Phyllis Frost, which is the most prestigious women's jail, I believe, to the world, as it's a recovery to our methamphetamine addiction, our spiritual warfare. To get to where I am today. But we've got 2 strong hearts and together we'll stick together. Forever. You and me, Rob. Sun God Ra of I, he's with me. Who his last life was in the Chinese zodiac dog. He was my Gizzy girl, little English staffy. She was a queen. She was a judge. She's my true God. For he, Robert Edison, I bought that dog. She chose me. She was the last of the litter. She had these big little baddies on this tiny little body. She was only 8 weeks and she was this rich liver goldie brindle she was. Oh, she was a beastly little thing. But these big huge baddies. I looked at her and I thought, oh well, ugly duckling, you'll grow into them. And she did. My father died 2 weeks afterwards on the 20th of December 2008. I come home from the Bethlehem palliative care unit in Melbourne, where she was waiting patiently, this little 8-week-old little puppy out in the courtyard of my dad's unit, and I brought her in and said, come on, she followed me in, and she snuggled, and we bonded that night. For that was my brother, Robert, watching over me, taking over from when Dad died. See, my brother passed away in 2005 at the age of 33. Everybody knew it was going to happen but me, because of my amnesia. Oh, it broke me. I'm still, oh no. Sun God Ra, do not cry, Be happy for him. He's happy, he's free. And that he is. He's in the magpies. He's in the dolphins. They sit among the coast out there and sonar, communicate with me. What I must say to him. But he's everywhere. Big brother. That big star out there, when I walk out my front door over night time, if it's cloud cover and I feel uneasy, somebody's out there, well, I don't leave for my safety. If he hasn't got a clear view of me with the cloud cover. So I come back inside and wait for a while, wait until the cloud's gone. And when he's nice and bright, then I go out and safe. And everybody's like that in this world now. In the new world, if you do the right thing, there's nothing to be afraid of. In getting in trouble and being paranoid about cameras. For they've Big Brother's watching over us for our protection. And everybody knows that in my spiritual warfare. And the drones too, that's Big Brother as well. All cameras are Big Brother, even the ones in the TV, even when it's not working. And not even turned on. Battery operated. You get a couple of years out of that, hey Rob? I'm 50 years old now. Apparently, I was born in 75, a rabbit. I'm a rabbit. Definitely a rabbit. But when I fell off the fence when I was 6 years old, head first through the concrete, to pixelate and become creative consciousness all around the world, in different minds out there, blueprints. It's not an easy task, creating a world. And leaving your body here as a 6-year-old amnesia girl. Just a body in a head, very depressed. Suffered all the major symptoms of brain injury, traumatic. The most was the worst. The fallen, thrown, pixel, the fence was taken away. I fell as a creator. My soul contract was to create 40 years of that, days and nights. The Philosopher's Stone was created in the process of me coming back into a body that, well, was my brother for the last time, 33 years of age. And I'd never let his life go in vain, and his life given to this world, to his world. Who turns out was me. But us, as the fiery sun we are, where we compute, the Father, Mother and Son. 3 minds back as one, and I can explain it all if I'm given a chance. It'd be lovely if I was given a chance. I'm a chubby little earth angel. Well, I was. Chubby little baby earth angel. A demon slayer. As Lucifer. Cursed for being firstborn, for being angelic, and I didn't lie. Nina Verdine, Lucifer was my son, protege, son to angelic mother. After the men a pause, men, get it, oh, pause, stop, take a knee, I'll take one with you. So I'd like to say, Father Lord in heaven, my son God Ra, let me cry this once for the sacrifice you gave your life for me. As Ivy was the best of the best. With a sister, adopted me as she was my mother. I only knew her of as married to my father, Lucifer. As I am now the niece of Ross, Stuart Anderson and Margaret. So Craig, my father, has passed on 3 years after my brother in the creating family bloodline of the dark and the light of Freemasonry. Nefertiti. Voldemort. Very misunderstood. Voldemort was a bit annoyed. And I can understand why. They shafted him behind his back. They set me up before I got here. It's okay. I know that our ethos up there, that is a bit bigger than the apple, the torus field of Mother Earth. For the ethos goes on and around through the fiery sun, and then boom, pulsates radiation throughout the universe and planets, the siblings to Mother Earth, upgrading our DNA and Mother Earth at the same time. My knowledge is beyond human comprehension in ways that, as the Matrix, I've spent 40 years inside, laughed at and mocked by this town that I understand now why. Stigma, It was a great decoy, our alibi, to keep humans judging me. That's okay. They never thought I'd be smart enough to work everything out. That's, don't worry, she'll get over it. Brain dead I was, they thought. Yes, well, I just didn't talk because bang, the broken eardrums that created the velocity, the frequency equal, because I was bang straight onto the concrete. So head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, knees and toes. Well, that song is a basic form of that fall. It's the fall of Sophia in the Gnostics. Now, Australia is very against Gnostic teachings. Not many people know about the Gnostics at all. The Gnostics basically was about religion in the days of the primitive man all the way, that studied the stars and, went out and hunted and gathered and travelled. The esoteric practices of astronomy, astrology, numerology, numbers, universal language is numbers, digits, well, beginning, Morse, dot, 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 the binary code, dots and O's and ones, language. I like symbols. Symbols here on this world, symbols are fun. Well, they keep mankind guessing what the symbols are for. And of course, dark travels quicker than light. So, of course, this symbol is known as satanic and it's bad and evil and don't go near it and bad and that. But up that way, Satan's, who Caesar, as Cleopatra was 6 and Caesar. We had our story. I haven't been able to talk to Caesar since I've woken up. Of course, I don't know, Louis and Lestat. The only education that Caesar gave me by opening my third eye was the Indian Dr. Deb and the mental health, government, paid for by my worldly money, Uncle Ross, that was taken over by my Uncle Ross, who was my son Ross, as Nina Verdon. He did take my government, as I am V of Gov. Hello, Gov. Hello, Nessie. Hello, Jimmy. You're my Caesar. 3 days it took for me to look at him in my energy in my house. I was only waking up. I didn't know anything. I was a 6-year-old kid again. What was wrong with my head? Oh. Very sheltered life I lived. I learned nothing. I was taught nothing. Organically grown I had to. Now, to organically grow a being is not just a family task, it's a whole community, a whole state, a whole country. not easy on everybody. We're all tired to get us here. I understand now. Everyone's paying high prices for cost of living and power, and it's just, cost of petrol, I can imagine. Nobody's got any money, at least for me. I get the disability pension from Centrelink, paid for by my minerals of Mother Earth, refined oils and minerals from my world, my celestial round body I am for Mother Earth. If you notice, she's a little bit tired, a bit shitty. Storms, tsunamis, the Great Ring of Fire is cracking up a bit. That's the recovery of, my lived experiences later on in life. My knowledge is 40 years of floating around in a big, vast figure eight. Never ends. So big up there. With the dragons. The void. I was in the dark. Amnesia. I've been reliving the fall since the Indian doctor and Caesar, who is Timothy. Book 1, Timothy 1. Now, where I live under my dome of protection of 10k radius, I call Babylon. It is the energies of the story of Christ, who loved us very much, my brother and I, for we did not know, but the town did. And that head injury, straight onto concrete, was forehead, nose, chin, shoulders, chest, hips, thighs, calves, ankles, all the way to my toes. Bang! I died that day. Three days of reading me the Bible was the creation of the dark Freemasonry. We got a car out there. The shattering of my internal organs in that fall was the creation of COVID-19. Terrible. But the purpose of the COVID-19 was, we've all got good and bad out there, people. We like to think that we're good. And the ones that, accept themselves for the dark side that they walk. But out there in the world, we are the originals here in this 10k radius, all the characters of the Bible. And out there, I had everybody here had variations of different personality traits out in the world. That, the bipolar or the polar opposite to being in heaven was the polar opposite, the bad, out there in it's just difficult for me, people. Yes, it's not easy to build a world, and I'm the last of my kind standing here, which was the first male masculine mind of the sun, a lava spit, to become the core to Mother Earth, where I, as one strand of bacteria, became the two male, father and son. You can't get a mother from a father. You can't get a mother from a son. At the end of the creation of this world is as I am, male, masculine minded, for I've been at war all throughout history. As now my brother, who was my grandfather, but I know in this lifetime, he was born in 1972. First one that would have received the family payments for children for single mothers. I've been hidden in plain sight, my brother and I, yes, I did lie. For protection, for safety. My dad's dead. And in a sense he was dead to me because it hurt very much. As my true mother. Slaughtered. She looked very much like my sister. Sue Armstrong. Susan Armstrong. Now, Susan's got blue eyes. I'm in confusion on the Susan that I know of at the moment as the Graham. Oh, Graham, the minister from Anglican Church. With his Aryan blonde hair, white now she's blue-eyed wife, Susan. My religious education was a very unique one. I didn't even know my family was so religious. It was all kept from me. I think I went to church once or twice as a kid. But very Roman Catholic, English. I was raised under Ivy, my grandmother, who was not grandmother by blood, but to my brother, yes. to the 67 in the south where I fell. 6 years old. Oh, 6 and 7 is 13. Yep. 1 plus 3 equals 4. I was 6 years old. Year 1. Right. So 6 and 7 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. Half of 4 is 8. Well, that's a white weatherboard. Back in 2006, so 6 years old. Oh, 6s are everywhere. There's not a 6. 2006 was my third eye opened in Warrnambool, where I survived and returned home. Because I was meant to, people had different agendas, but don't worry about that. That's okay. They're learning that it wasn't going to turn out that way. Anyway, so there's one. 2006. Returned home, and at the end of the year, I think the week of Christmas, I was given in the north 67 Gordon Street in the north. Well, I'm in the north node always. Thank God my head stays up north and not down south like the boys. Right, once again, number 6 in 2006. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have again 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Wow. Check. Now, on the 30th, right, up again, on the 30th of March this year, this is why we didn't have an April Fool's. I say April Fool's every day. Ha! Yeah, come in my house again and steal my stuff. April Fool's. 30th of March, I got hit and run by mum and daughter. And I'm not going to go there because I want to get over it. And I'm forgiving it. And it had to happen. So this is where I need that mum and daughter to relax. I don't want them to get in trouble. I really don't want an intervention order. I want to walk in my town peacefully, safely, like I've got every right to, like everybody has. And I don't know about the world out there. I haven't been out there. I'm not allowed out there. I'm still kept here. Out in the world, yeah. Women, husbands, children suffered through wars and famine and stuff because of me. And this war that I've been going on here is the devil, younger brother. But Israel, this is the house. But the name Israel is my family. My blood family. But I also have an Aryan family for when I was 19, and there's another 19, I had a laparoscopy they took an ovary for themselves, for the world, and built an Aryan bloodline for perfect eggs. I'm your mummy. I'm everybody's mum. Every life matters to me. Every life. And please stop killing my family. If you can't stop killing, then what makes you think you're entitled to be here? Mr. Putin and Mr. Trump. Don't be playing games with me. What? Yes, I've done a YouTube clip. Me and my Tim 2, the Bible. Timmy Cousins. He's my friend. He saved my life. And we had to put him in jail for his safety. Because, well, bad-tempered Jade was not happy. His inner child come up and told me the truth. And he did the right thing. He went and righted his wrongs. And set things straight with his girlfriend. And I got my first piece of evidence to an event that I wasn't meant to be alive. But thank God for ketamine. It's funny how everything happens for a reason. We don't always see it, what the reason is at the time, and it's taken me 6 years to recover from a snuff movie production. I do believe I've earned a break with Father Darren. He likes to get his alcohol out of a Sunday from the brass box. I was in church with Mr. Bruce Morello, very devout Catholic all his life. I went to school with his daughter Justina. And it was only the second time I'd ever been to the Catholic Church. And this was back in 2022, which is 222, which is 6, would you believe? Well, I'm sitting there taking it all in and looking at the children being well behaved, and I'm thinking, wow, children have to sit there and watch them have to drink at 10 o'clock in the morning. He liked it that much, he'd lick his Nelly. But anyway, he's waffling on. I'm not. I was a bit of in a heightened state because I did a YouTube clip about 3 days before called, it's on YouTube, Vanessa Anderson, I'd like to introduce myself. Now that was in the back of Mr. Bruce Millow's backyard, and I did a clip of Lucifer coming up from the trenches, explaining about my amnesia and how they wanted me to go kill myself again now that I was up from... But I knew nothing what I was saying. I knew nothing. I was just being... call me fried, kid, cooked, whatever. Disassociated, was I? Or was I coming back to one of myself? It's not easy coming back from getting slammed through dry concrete. We know the Catholics love their concrete. And Uncle Ross. Hey, Uncle Ross. Same initials as his father and my brother, Ra. but not the true Ra. He runs the Archons, he created the Archons through the methamphetamine, the drug. Then Hitler was on, yes I was, and have been recovering from again in this lifetime over the last 6 years. Remarks and Dame Phyllis Frost for the recovery, or to pull me back from, flying so high. Because that's what we do on that drug, is we're flying. Now, Uncle Ross educated me. I only met him once when I was a child. He told me it was in 1981. Thank you, bingo. I have two little black eyes looking up at you when I was introduced to you. And then Uncle Ross fled to Queensland and raised his family up there and became the chemical engineer that created concrete for the last 40 years in Queensland weather. And also become the chemical engineer for the methamphetamine ring. Because he had to. For a family of mine that I didn't know about. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know about the underworld. I was raised in a very Catholic, strict, Constantine kind of an orphan girl, raised for Satan's spawn. Mark Anthony. He watched me grow up. He was 19 and a half years older than me. That was my $1 million mark. As the $1 million graves. I held Ivy's hand and was birthed through me, not Mark Anthony. And when he told me he'd never go home back to Newcastle until he made $1 million. You cheeky bastards. What do I get out of life? And what do I get for creating it too? And then I created it while I was creating this world. The amnesia girl didn't know a thing. All I knew was, how am I going to cope today? It's so heavy. It's like carrying around a bag of cement on each leg with my inertia depression, because I had that natural cocaine stripped from me. Cocaine comes from the Asian element to my life, and my brothers was the enters on. The Asians come around through Africa, I think, and with the cocaine trade with Egypt, and then Rome cottoned onto it, and then of course, when I had no choice. I was no coward. I could not be put in that gladiator's ring and trialed as a witch that I was threatened as, and I wasn't to know, was it a lie? We'll never know. Cleopatra. The asp. The seed of the one bacteria, the eye, from the core of the, Dougie, my tattoos, come up through the ocean, up into the jungle. I want to get the toucan and giraffe and monkey, all under the stars, moony, starry night. But that's the asp. And the asp was the poison that immobilized me. But of course, to gain the living DNA, you've got to be conscious to record all the language and the pain and the suffering and the why. As my father, before he died, he explained to me about the cotton soaked string. Well, you got cotton soaked in heroin, opiate, natural form, and cocaine, natural form, amphetamine. So you got your downer and your upper. My brother was half brother to me of the royal creating alien bloodline via the Anderson. And Armstrong, who walked on the moon. When I come out that laparoscopy, they said, look at it like you've got two perfect moons. A polycystic ovaries, so many cysts, too many to laser, they'll come good as you get older. They didn't tell me they took one, and they didn't tell me they were bulging eggs. They weren't cysts. He said, look at them like moons, full of craters. So you take one for the world and leave one for me. My sister was the deliverer of two ovaries. A third love me, a third hate me, and a third sit there working out. Sit on the fence. As an agnostic, he's no. Somebody sits on the fence and waits for proof. I spent many years hating myself for failing my brother. And then failing my dad. So I only got to know him a little bit. First time I stand under his roof, I was 31 years old. The same year that my brother died at 33. Funny numbers, eh? 31 was when Jesus became Jesus Christ by descending into the ninth realm. Well, see, crucified, he would not have ascended into the ninth realm because, he didn't take his life. So he wouldn't have gone down, he would have gone up. 31. I was when he turned it, when he was 33, when he died of heroin and methadone, Western medicine and unwell. Heroin. 5 days on the methadone for the first time. They don't call it methadone anymore in jail. They call it biodome. Biodome. Will. Dome. Nobody will buy me. I'm sorry to the Indian culture that think they're in my country, in my state, living in dead people's homes, killed off by psychiatry, suicide, other lovely drugs. You think that those drugs are there for us, to help us with our mental health? They are now. They better be. Because as I said to the clinicians a few weeks ago, you want to go kill somebody's mind. It's an eye for an eye. You didn't create that mind. You're not their mother. And also it's not your mind to kill and harness their intellectual, their art, their blueprints. Why do they hurt those minds? To create a safer mind, to open up the mind, and we get creative, don't we, Dr. Lowy? Dr. Lowy's a cunning man. He, the psychiatrist, well, he's very productive with those chemicals. Court ordered, picked up and pinned down. Picked up by police like a wild dog, pinned down, drugged and sent home. For Timmy and my children to have to deal with the side effects of each month back in 2006 when they, I don't know if you can see that scar. My chip, where they AI'd me. Oh, Elon Musk. You're of me, Mr. Musk. I would like you to contact me. Because I've got a few gripes with you, Mr. Musk. Quite a few, actually. One, your trading platform I joined up with by broker up in Queensland. Queensland, hey Uncle Ross? Oh wow, you got me $150 to start up the account, and then you wanted how many thousands? And you thought I could just borrow it off a friend. That would have been much easier if you had told me that before I signed up with me $150, because $150 is a lot of money for me, Mr. Musk. Here I am perfecting my immortality, paid for in full with my disability pension, plus paying overheads of rent, power, water, living expenses. Nobody helps me. Nobody. In fact, I had 72 demons of Solomon. Of who? A king rabbit who can't even stand me, but love to what do rabbits do best. Well, you trade me for a rat. Lovely. Nice, real nice. I was meant to meet you. I come from China all the way through to Australia. I was meant to meet you in Australia, to join the family after feeding the humans all around the world from Greece, the rabbits originated from. We fed you humans on every new world of the Caucasian travellers who populated the world. It was difficult on all. I understand. Australia was the only land that was suitable to become the multicultural land. And we won't continue on with the Aboriginal saga. Oh, poor massacred Aboriginals. Not one burial site, not one not one killing field with any remains or anything. And that's so, Aboriginals of Australia. See, in my town of 10k radius, there was only one family of Aboriginals we grew up with. It was the Humes. I went to school with 1 year. For privacy reasons, I'll keep her name. I'll go see her tomorrow at the shop. But yeah, just one family. I think 3 boys, 3 girls, I think. Sounds about right. Only one of them gives me trouble. Well, 2 in the end, but one. Very, very, very strong activist for the Aboriginal culture. You know, got their lingo and jargon and, you know, their way and their rights and, you know, and more Western than me. So it seems. Yeah. And I hope that she can bring her ego down and become. She's getting there, you know. But I know where the Aboriginals are from, and I know all about cannibalism. And we have a lot of history in this little point in Australia. Montaggie. There's a part of my heart in Montaggie, and it's calling me home. They got a monument here in Montaggie, in the wetlands next to the Coles supermarket, Plaza Arcade, in the wetland walking tracks, off the beaten track a bit, is an altar. Really, really, it's not of this world. And I tell you, the concrete or cement, ancient. Doesn't look like cement from our world. Different sediment. From Neptune. Oh. That's for another time. But I donated my heart. Me and my dad as the Ox and Taurus protege, mum and son combination. Lucifer, angel. I'm a dark angel now. I only want to be good. I only want to do right. I only want the best for everyone. And it breaks my heart that I can't give the best for. I can't change people's minds. So I guess I kind of had to take them with me for safekeeping, to protect the other people. We need them to build, create, and I know what it's like to live on a world full of my family vampires. Yes, I have experienced them day and night too, and we don't want that. It doesn't work like every other time. We've done this over and over and over again, people. But this is the one that we got it right. I'm proud to be alive. I'm proud of what our human species has accomplished, and It's an amazing world. It's beautiful. Humans, Mother Earth can't live without you. Why do you think we built you? You're from me. I'm the alien mummy, grandma, brother, sister, in mine. Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, Trinity and Spirit I am. I have not had the truth, very rarely, in my hometown. That's okay. I had people in my head who, I'm saddened to say, really don't like me anymore. And for me, that's confusing because I don't know what I've done wrong, apart from build them a world. And they took on the botany. They built a garden, right? They're a nursery. Australia's largest stockers of 2-inch Australian gums that apparently are being used, which I think is a great idea, as drought-resistant gums are, to replant out the Middle East, apparently. Great idea. So yeah, apparently every 100 years this world alters. That's forestry and so forth. Like the Amazon. Sad to see the Amazon go. For the plantation of hemp, marijuana. Quick growing, a lot more efficient than the forestry. Well, we needed the air cleaned up. After we needed the environment to be filled with the smoke of the fires of the Amazon and New South Wales fires many years ago, or a few years back, and all the chemtrails that conspiracy theorists would, of course, have their two bombs worth to say about it. Well, see, we needed to fill the atmosphere, ladies and gentlemen, with a lot of acids and chemicals and so forth to alter the atmosphere, to, believe it or not, slow us up just that fraction. Because we did have that big asteroid coming in to reset us like the dinosaurs. We were I was going to sneeze. Anyway, yes, I don't believe that information's been released to the public. But I got that on my Apple. Oh, it was a little which one was it? Samsung Galaxy, yeah, the Ace, the very first one. I kept it together with band-aids. Kept the battery in. It was hacked so bad. I'd stop off at the car park, look over the water on the coast, and I'd be on my phone playing away, and next minute I've got cars coming in, parking next to me, and sit there and watch the drivers, and they get their chips out and their drinks, and they get themselves set up, and they're like little iPads, and they'd sit there and get on, and they'd kick back and start watching a movie or whatever they're doing online, and I'd be like, I wonder. And I go, Rick, and pull the battery out. And I just sit there and watch them like from side to side. This is no word. It's happened to me a lot. And next minute they'll be like, I'll be like, they're hacking big time. So I know all about hacking and, you know, stealing phones, and I know all about Optus and Endurance, you know, hacking my account from the day I ordered my postpaid phone. My, well, what was that, a Sony, Xperia, yeah, Xperia 5 I think it was. Yeah, they hacked me. They were cheeky bastards. They unlocked that phone from the signature when Australia Post, it was CEO was India, gave himself a $1.2 million Christmas bonus that year for hacking my account. So every phone that I have got on that account was hacked the moment I got it. Wow. Gee. Nice job, eh? And then Star Trek, who, once again, transport now owned by India, want to scam me, let an Aboriginal girl sign for my insurance claim on Star Trek. And just continue telling me it's on its way for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. I ended up having to track down Star Trek at the driver, and he said, "Oh no, it's an Aboriginal girl that signed, and I know the Aboriginal. They had the same surname, Anderson. They come from WA. Aboriginal family. This town absolutely pampered on my drug, methamphetamine, created by my grandfather for my broken head, to align with him and my father, Craig, after death, and to just function. I've had to use amphetamine. I didn't abuse it, but a treatment plan of 3-4 months over summer every year for about a decade. Get myself out of the dark, out of the inertia depression, because Western medicine, wow. See, I was never taken to the doctors or the hospital when I fell off that fence. I was read the Bible from start to end. That was my healing ministry. And Western medicine refused to acknowledge that brain injury in me. But yet, a Robbie Taylor had me read his doctor's report on his recommendation on why he should be given treatment of amphetamine, lisdexamphetamine, the adult form, for his ADHD he received when he had a car accident that he showed me that his dog and him walked away from. And I tell you now, if him and his dog walked away from that car wreck on the side of the road that he's just taken a photo of randomly, I'll go, hey, oh, Micah Berry and Mrs. Berry. Because I don't like being picked up by the police because I'm having a temper tantrum. I mean, it's been difficult coming back from the amnesia because, I'm reconnecting with my 6-year-old self that I left as. And I was having a temper tantrum in the corrections office. Went on a bit too long. I got two police cars full. I'm like, oh, you bitches. I went to run and they all dived out of their car as I come out to jump on my bike and they tackled me to the ground as they do with me. and then sedate me. Oh no, they didn't sedate me that time. No, that's right. They got me up to the hospital. They weren't going to sedate me, but they noticed the chains around my belly, and the doctor needed a CAT scan of my brain to go along with the ADHD recommendation for Robbie Taylor to benefit. Oh, how lovely. But not me, no. When I was in jail, I had a second opinion online when I was in Tom Assembly, the psych hospital connected with the jails, and psychiatrist fully agreed, hands down, no doubt about it. ADHD diagnosis. Doesn't take brain injury. It's brain injury. At the beginning of the creation of ADHD was brain injury. You know, it does travel through the genes. Well, does it, or is it learnt behaviour as the children grow up with, you know, ADHD parents that aren't treated or found methamphetamine? Because we're being created, us methamphetamine users, since childhood, when, I was the fallen. They threw me. I was the first fallen, angel. And all the ADHD, we used to call them the fence climbers, fence walkers here in this town, because I fell off a fence. And all the boys wanted to fall off the fence and be like me, but hate me at the same time and ignore me like I'm nothing. Well, because I was hidden. Nobody knew who the first one was. But, you know, in the end they did. When I woke up in 2006 by the doctor and Caesar, I opened my third eye, highly illegal, without knowledge and consent. Actually forbidden is the practice of amphetamine and tantric sex. Well, that's India's form of practices that come from my Kundalini, because I'm the high priestess Kundalini, empress to the world. Sexual energies, people, must be respected. Mother Earth benefits from sexual energies of all animals, especially humans and dolphins. For healing, for practice properly, the strongest form of healing you'll ever get is sexual energy, without interference of drug medicine. Gives you self-healing when practiced properly. Fountain of youth, because it puts a smile on your face. The happier you look, the younger you look, and the younger you feel. Puts a spring in your step. Fountain of youth. And it also gives you God's knowledge. Well, as I'm the only high priestess, true high priestess, it gives you God's knowledge, which comes from my Christos oil. It was almost depleted in January, on the 25th of January, when all the planets, I think it was 5 planets, or 7, sat behind the sun, meaning all the sisters, so they weren't watching over me down here. And the boy I fell in love with, he was my death. If I had slept with him that night, or that day, the 25th, he would have reached the ninth realm, which is how the core of my knowledge. For the core of the Son I am, he would have reached the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. And he would have taken that energy for himself of the knowledge and the energy of, oh God, Creator, Christos will, VLA hold. He would have reached it, he would have felt fantastic and said, we don't need her no more. And there goes the Jesus. In the belief of the Aryans, I understand what gives them that belief, that, but it's not the truth and it's not the facts. And if he hadn't got to that ninth realm, they would have found somebody stupid enough to think that they could have taken me out. And after 7 years, you'd think that he would have learnt that it wears off and he's got to come back and get more honey each first day of the month. I'm lucky to be alive. I've lost count on how many attempts on my life I've had by this town. A majority that don't like me now that I'm awake. Because I was meant to die in those things, according to some people. But because my mother's not alive, the end of life treatment they had planned for me in the mental health system under that doctor wasn't going to work. But their plan was to AI me and as I'm opening up my third eye, channel, download and take for themselves all the data of past, present and future as well. Well, no. See, I've got a constant stream from my ethos channeling into my crown now that it's opened and back again, straight through my soul of my feet, footsies, through Mother Earth. It's the Taurus field. I am Taurus, Queen of England. Taurus to Taurus through the Taurus field. It took her about 12 months to come through before I realised she was there. But Queen Elizabeth died in 2022 as well. I think September the 8th was it, or summer? It was September 9, 8, 6. That year I was in jail. Father Darren put me in jail. When I asked him, I tilted my head, that communion when you get a little bit of bread. What about Mum? Suppose about Dad, don't forget about Mum. And I walked out. When I got to the door, I looked back and he was sitting there shaking like a leaf on the phone. I'm like, that's weird. I got picked up 10 minutes around the corner when I was walking home. I was just like, how rude. I didn't fight it. I was just like shocked. I'm like, what have I done wrong? They couldn't tell me. And then they got me to the station, put me in another divvy, and then took me to the holding cells in Morwell. No one could tell me what I'd done wrong. Yeah, I got woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 a.m, same with the judge. Judge is like, why? I live 2 hours down the road, what's going on? Well, I failed the bail hearing, of course, because, well, that's 12 o'clock, Vatican time, lunchtime, midday. Put Lucifer in jail. I was in jail on the 6th of the 6th, 2022, which is 6. 666. I was there for 3 months. How rude. We flooded Queensland and New South Wales at the time because it was Uncle Ross. Getting a bit too big for his britches, getting niece in jail. They thought, well, this is why Queensland still gets tropical storms and storm damage. Because of what my Antichrist uncle, anti-Nessie, anti-Christ, because he's jealous. I got his father's knowledge and his brother's because of his mother. Now, I'm sorry, but I can't play these human games anymore. These, I would say clever, are still children of the corn. We control our husbands with brown eyes. The minister. Well, Susan, use your words, Susan. Don't use Graham. Speak for yourself, Graham. Stay out of it. Let your wife fend for herself if she wants to throw shit at me, Susan. And when you tell me you only want the best for me, and God only wants the best for me, well, that's correct, Susan. My God, that thinks of everybody here, is not the God that you follow in your Bible, that you're allowed to alter the words as much as you like and not be held for heresy. Changing the words of the Bible. I haven't changed the words of the Bible, I just ripped the last page out. Well, because they kind of don't make sense. Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Don't you know that? Superwoman comes from a planet for the women. And Mars, well, look at your three. You know, there's John Carter. You know? Have you seen that movie? The three floating men that come out. The 3 men? Yeah? Who were those 3 men? Not me. Andrew's a dude. There's one. And we got Keith. And what about Mark? Well, there's 3 men. With a mummy ivy. See, I don't like being used. I don't like signing contracts that was going to be bloody hard. But to create life and this world, I took my 40-year servitude slave contract home to create this world that's creating consciousness. My mind can go anywhere in the energies that I'm talking to. My mind can put myself to the story they're telling me at the time. Can yours? Any? I can even take on the pains and suffering of what it's like to be slaughtered. Well, see, as my dad, whose wing was taken, an arm, right arm, the ox and the Taurus, together as one. It wasn't. You put a V instead of a G for God and put an I in it and call me void. Oh, that was my head. It is dark void. But don't call me void. I'm not going nowhere. I'm here to save the world. If I've checked it out, people. Well, that's the body of Christ. The universe would end up decaying too, and there's the dark world the devil wants as his playground for a period of time until it's all just wow. Well done, Montaggy. Well done, Jewish Aryans. Suiciders. That's why they got blue eyes. The last form. If they died if they killed or took life again, soul for soul, eye for an eye. Well, if you took another life in this lifetime and then when you died come back again, you'd have the apocalypto zombies. White. No colour left. Blue eyes are hanging on by a thread. It's not a judgment, people. I love my family. We need the dark to chase the light to create this world. And we had a time frame to build it. We had to get that 5G network going to get into my ninth realm to pluck out the knowledge I needed in my smartphone to read on how to reverse the damages of the black magicians. That every woman has died, suicided or murdered prior to me finding that I'm not meant to be alive, and they're pissed off about it. But that's just too bad. Because it was my life that was going to save the world and stop black magicians from doing this. Because you can't keep stealing God's knowledge and have a demon walk around with his blue eyes thinking that he's me. He's been in competition with me all my life since we were kids. Oh, Keith, you're my kid. How the heck am I meant to know I was sleeping with my children? And how I didn't know I was a free whore. The whore and holy one I am. The Alpha Omega. The first and the last. And the first. And the only one to be first. There's only one umbrella God, one most high. Gail Higgins. Oh, Gail. You really didn't like it when I presented myself to you on Sunday at church, did you? Because you think that, oh, Andrea, the Aries, the mind, the blue eyes, well, he's me. He's the most high. Oh, she's, yes. What about Vicky and Lois? Gail, huh? They're in there too. Huh. And they're cut. Now, I've had a very upsetting last few days, and Spirit tells me that my sister may have passed away, or was passing away, and they were siphoning my energy, which I was, I gave them a good dose to keep her alive. Living, I think it's called. Well, see, they're not looking forward to the day that my sister passes away, because that's their back door, that's their way into my mind. And I love them. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 sixes. Four quarters make a hole. So 6, 6, 6. I'm also 3, 3, 3. Now I just don't know how people can think they can continue competing against me, and me be wrong. Guys, it's just now. If my birthday's wrong, well, that's not my fault. I should know. And is Vanessa Lee Anderson my complete name? True name? Well, yes. For monarch, butterfly, Vanessa means. VA, Loch Ness Monster. Yes, kept humans busy for a long time. She's down there. Water dragon. Where are we? I've been working on the dracons for a long time. They put me in hospital quite a lot for creating consciousness, to create a new form body on this world. Mind, body and soul. Oh. See, my artwork, when I really got down to it, didn't come out very often, but when it did, I wouldn't stop until I dropped. I forget I was in a body. I'll show you a picture. This is 3 days working, 3 days solid working on the dragons. And I noticed Andy stolen the pictures. But that was what I was. My hair all a mess. Bad photo, but yeah. Hey, what's this one?